You're seconds away from sleep. Your body is heavy. Your eyes are closed. Your thoughts are starting to melt into nothing. And then boom, your whole body suddenly jumps. Your leg kicks. Your chest tightens. Your stomach drops. For one terrifying second, it feels like you just fell off a cliff. But then you open your eyes and you are still in bed. Nothing moved. Nothing happened. You were not falling. You were not in danger. You were lying completely still. So why did your brain fire an emergency alarm at the exact moment you were finally relaxing? That sudden shock has a name. It is called a hypnic jerk. Sometimes people call it a sleep start, and it is much more common than it feels. Millions of people experience it. Some people feel it once in a while. Some people feel it many nights in a row. And the weirdest part is that it does not feel like a normal twitch. It feels like falling, like missing a step, like the floor disappeared, like your body dropped through space. For a split second, your brain creates a tiny disaster, and then it wakes you up from it. But why? To understand that, you have to look at the strange doorway between being awake and being asleep. Because sleep is not a simple switch. Your brain does not just go from on to off. It has to slowly change states. Your heart rate begins to slow. Your breathing becomes softer. Your muscles loosen. Your body temperature drops. Your thoughts become less organized. The outside world starts to fade. It is like your brain is turning down the lights in a huge building, one room at a time. But sometimes that shutdown is not smooth. One part of your brain is ready to sleep. Another part is still watching for danger. And that second part can panic. Because as your muscles relax, your brain may misread the signal. Instead of thinking, good, the body is falling asleep, it thinks, wait, why did the body suddenly go loose? Why did control drop? Are we falling? And before you can even think about it, your nervous system hits the emergency button. A burst of energy shoots through your muscles, your body jerks, your arms twitch, your legs kick, your stomach drops, your eyes open, and suddenly you are awake again. Not because you actually fell, but because your brain reacted as if you did. This is why the feeling can be so convincing. The movement happens first. Then your brain tries to explain it. Your body jolts, and your brain instantly builds a story around that jolt. A cliff, a hole, a staircase, a curb you missed, a sudden drop, a fall from somewhere high. The image may not be real, but the feeling is. And because it happens right between waking and sleeping, your brain is in the perfect state to create strange little dream fragments. You are awake enough to feel your body, but asleep enough for your imagination to take over. That border zone is where hypnic jerks live, not fully awake, not fully dreaming, somewhere in between. And in that in-between state, your brain can turn a simple muscle twitch into a terrifying fall. But there may be an even older reason this happens. One theory says the hypnic jerk may be connected to an ancient survival reflex. Long before modern bedrooms, soft pillows, locked doors, and safe houses, no sleep was dangerous. For our ancestors, night was not just rest. Night meant darkness, predators, cold, unstable sleeping places, and for primates that slept in trees, relaxing too much in the wrong position could mean falling. So one idea is that the body developed a protective alarm. If the muscles suddenly relaxed too deeply, if the body started to slip, the nervous system would jolt everything awake. Wake up, grab something, do not fall. That reflex could have been useful in a world where sleep was physically risky, but today you are not sleeping on a branch. You are not hanging above the ground. You are not surrounded by predators. You are just in bed. The problem is that your nervous system is old. Very old. It was not designed only for modern life. It still carries ancient alarms from environments you no longer live in. So even when you are safe, warm, and completely still, your brain can still act like danger is nearby. It is not trying to ruin your sleep. It is trying to protect you. It just has terrible timing. But the ancient survival theory is only one part of the story. There is also a more mechanical explanation. When you fall asleep, your brain has to hand control from wakefulness to sleep, and that handoff can be messy. During the day, your brain keeps your body alert. It tracks sounds. It controls posture. It keeps muscles ready. It makes sure you can react quickly. But when sleep begins, many of those systems start calming down. The body is told, relax, stop moving, let go. But if that signal happens unevenly, the brain can get confused. Your muscles may relax before the rest of the brain feels fully asleep. And that sudden relaxation may be interpreted as a loss of control. So the brain sends one last burst of movement, almost like it is testing the system. Are we okay? Are we falling? Do we still have control? And the answer comes as a jolt. This is why hypnic jerks usually happen at the beginning of sleep, not after hours, not deep in the night, but right as you are drifting off, the exact moment your body crosses the line. It is the nervous system's awkward goodbye to being awake. Most nights that transition happens quietly. You lie down, you relax, you disappear into sleep. But on some nights, the transition is rough, and there are things that can make it rougher. Stress is one of the biggest ones. If your mind has been tense all day, your brain may not fully believe it is safe to shut down. Even when your body lies still, your nervous system stays alert. It is like having a guard inside your head who refuses to leave his post. So when your muscles finally relax, that guard panics. Sleep deprivation can also make it worse. That sounds strange. You would think being extremely tired would make sleep easier, but sometimes being overtired makes the transition into sleep more unstable. Your body crashes towards sleep, your brain tries to stay awake, and those two forces collide. That collision can feel like falling. Caffeine can also make the system more sensitive. Even if you feel tired, caffeine can keep parts of your nervous system activated. Your body wants sleep, but your brain is still slightly wired. So the moment relaxation begins, the system may misfire. Late night stress, bright screens, intense exercise, irregular sleep, anxiety, and exhaustion can all make the doorway into sleep more chaotic. And when that doorway gets chaotic, the body may jump. This is why some people notice hypnic jerks more during difficult periods. During exams, during stressful work weeks, after bad sleep, after too much coffee, after staying up too late for several nights. The jerk is not random. It is often a sign that your nervous system is entering sleep while still carrying too much activation. Your body is trying to power down, but your brain is still acting like something is chasing you, and that creates the perfect condition for a false alarm. The scary part is that hypnic jerks can feel bigger than they really are. A tiny muscle contraction can feel like your whole body exploded awake. A small twitch can feel like a fall from the sky. A brief dream image can feel like reality, because in that moment, your brain is unstable. It is building dreams while still monitoring the body, so it mixes signals. A muscle relaxes, the brain imagines falling, the body jerks, the brain wakes up. Then you lie there wondering what just happened. And once you start worrying about it, the cycle can get worse, because fear makes the brain more alert. If you go to bed thinking, what if it happens again? What if something is wrong with me? What if I can't sleep? Then your nervous system stays on guard, and a nervous brain is more likely to react dramatically to normal body changes. So the worst thing you can do is panic. Most hypnic jerks are normal. They are usually harmless. They do not mean your heart stopped. They do not mean your brain failed. They do not mean you are dying. They usually mean your body had a rough entrance into sleep. Your nervous system tripped over the doorway. But if they happen constantly, or if they seriously ruin your sleep, that is when it may be worth talking to a doctor or sleep professional. Not because one jerk is dangerous, but because constant sleep disruption can affect your life. For most people, though, the answer is much simpler. Make the doorway into sleep calmer. Less caffeine late in the day, less intense stimulation right before bed, a consistent sleep schedule, a quieter wind down, a darker room, a brain that feels safe enough to let go. Because that is really what sleep requires. Letting go. And the hypnic jerk happens when your brain does not fully trust the fall. It wants to relax, but it also wants to survive. So it checks the body, it checks the muscles, it checks gravity, and sometimes, for no good reason, it slams the panic button. In a strange way, the hypnic jerk is not your enemy. It is an overprotective alarm system, a leftover survival signal, a nervous little guard inside your brain that would rather wake you up for nothing than let you sleep through danger. Annoying? Yes. Terrifying? Sometimes. But also kind of amazing. Because even when you are unconscious, even when your thoughts are fading, even when you are seconds away from sleep, your brain is still trying to protect you. So the next time you are almost asleep and your body suddenly kicks like you just fell from the sky, remember you did not fall. Your bed did not vanish. The floor did not disappear. Your brain just checked for danger, and then it hit the panic button anyway.